So the Modern Warfare 2 2022 beta is now over. Thankfully, I had the opportunity to play it. So let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Go5801 is the name, and welcome to my thoughts on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 open beta. So much like when I played the Cold War beta back in 2020, I'm going to be analyzing what I played and if I thought the game was fun, not fun, enjoyable, tolerable, unbearable. You know, just kind of seeing if this is what we're going to get, because I can already tell you, what you see right now is pretty much what we're going to get. They give us an open beta just to play the game before it releases, which is awesome, but pretty much how I see it nowadays is that what we see in the beta is pretty much the final version of the game. So what we see now is what we can expect to see in like a couple weeks, because it's supposed to release sometime in October, but yeah. Anyway, I wrote down some brief notes of my thoughts on the beta. I have some pros and cons, again, much like when I played the Cold War beta. So without further ado, let's just jump into this. Let's just start with my pros, cause I only have a few of them. First one is that the game feels, sounds, and looks good to play. Now, I will give Infinity Ward credit to where it is due. They do know how to make a game look, feel, and sound amazing. Like, the guns in this game feel so good to use. Like, I think I predominantly used the M4 for like the entirety of the beta that I played, but the sounds of the guns, they sound so clean. They sound heavy. Like some guns sound heavy, some SMGs sound light. Like, that's how some games are supposed to be, and the guns in this game are just so amazing. Again, the attention to detail, I'm a big fan of attention to detail. That's one of the main things that I pay attention to. As like sound design alone, I think this sound team is amazing. They did a phenomenal job. Look-wise, they're going for a more realistic feel. Like with Modern Warfare 2019, they were going for a realistic feel. I'm pretty sure they're going for it for like going forward, which I have my own thoughts and opinions on that, but I'll circle back to that later. But it does look good. This, I will give the credit to. This game does look good, but I'll circle back to that in a second. The game feels, sounds, and looks good to play. That's one of the pros. A con to that, this can be summarized like this. I said the game looks, feels, and sounds good to play, but the game is still bad. It's like a cake. It's like a cake. If you make me a gigantic chocolate cake, it may look great, it may smell great, it may look delicious, but as soon as you bite into it, it tastes bitter. It's because the cake was made with salt, not sugar. So now you just ruin this entire cake because it does not taste good. Sure, when you play the game for a little bit, it feels good, the guns feel good, it sounds good, but the more you play it, and this is just me, then this is just my opinion on it, because of how the skill-based matchmaking with this game, it almost makes it unbearable to play. And because how Modern Warfare 2019 catered to newer fan bases and to overall just easier players, the hardcore players are just going to get hammered down hard, very, very hard. But another pro to this, another pro that I have, and this is separate, is that they're bringing back third-person mode. Third-person mode was actually a mode that was in the original Modern Warfare 2. I actually love Modern Warfare 2. I didn't play a whole bunch of it because I wasn't around when that game came out. But when I did play it, I did play a lot of the local mode. And third-person mode was predominantly the main thing that I would only use, and that was freaking awesome. It's very nostalgic feeling. You understand? But that's it for all my pros. And I guess like a little thing that I have in the middle is that the maps have gotten a little better, in my opinion. The main thing about the Modern Warfare 2019 maps is that they were too big. A lot of them were too big. A lot of them had too many doors. There were too many camping spots. I mean, not to say that this game doesn't have a lot of camping spots. I mean, it does, but it's not as hectic and it's not as bad in this game. But a lot of this one, I think it's Farm 18. I really like this one. It reminds me of Shoe House from the previous game. There was a museum map. there was a museum map that I played on, and then there was a third map. I don't remember the name of it, but that one was very, very bright. I really liked that one. The visibility in that one was a tad bit better, but that's also a con. And now we're gonna get into the cons here. The first one that I have is level progression. Now, normally in COD fashion, when you level your character up, you would not only level your character up, but you would also unlock certain weapons and certain perks, so on and so forth. In this game, it's different. So, you guys remember how I said I would predominantly use the M9 or the M4 or whatever, that particular assault rifle? I'm playing with an SMG somewhere in this gameplay. I think it's the Hurricane, and I really liked it. So I was wondering how I was going to get this SMG because I really wanted to level it out. But the level progression in this game is a lot different. And in my opinion, it's awful. So you play with the M9 starting off, then you level up to get the F-TAC Recon battle rifle. And then after that, you get, and then after that, I think I'll show like a screenshot or something, so that way you guys can see it. You have to level up this shitty battle rifle just to unlock an SMG. I'll say that again. You have to level up a battle rifle to unlock an SMG. Now, I don't know whose stupid idea this was at Infinity Ward, but I want to go over there and punch them right in the groin. This is the stupidest thing anyone has ever integrated in Call of Duty, ever. It should not be this way. This is just so stupid, because this forces you to play the game longer, which Activision can give to their shareholders and say, people are playing the game for a lot longer. No shit, because we have to get the thing that we want, but we can't get the thing that we want because there's bullshit surrounding it. This is just a stupid method via sunk cost fallacy. Yes, sunk cost fallacy. This is awful. This is stupid. This is idiotic. I just personally can't wrap my head around it. So it's dumb. It's stupid. They took feedback during the beta. However, most of the feedback that we gave them, they pretty much doubled down on their own decision and just said, "We hear you guys, but we know how to play. But we know how to make a game. So go fuck yourself." Literally, we mentioned how the old mini-maps should be brought back in this game. I have no idea why this is the second consecutive year in a row that they have the audacity to bring back this stupid mini-map system where they don't pop up on the actual map, but they pop up on the compass. They mentioned how it negatively affects players. No shit it does. If you shoot your gun, you're gonna pop up on the minimap. If you don't want to pop up on the minimap, just put a suppressor on your gun. Problem solved. Call it a day. But I don't know what... I'm assuming they have hard data to actually back this up. But in my opinion, it's dumb. It's stupid. Literally. Cold War brought it back, and I personally loved it. Personally, I played more of the Cold War beta than the Vanguard beta. I only played one match of the Vanguard beta, and that was it. I played more matches in this game. I played equal amount of matches in this game in Cold War, but between this one and Cold War, I enjoyed myself a lot more in Cold War than this. Personally, without saying that if you aren't going to take feedback from us, don't ask us for feedback in the first place, because if you already know what you're doing, then why even ask us for our input? Much like the problem in Modern Warfare 2019, the footsteps are too loud. If you're not going to do anything with the minimap or the compass, fine, but lower the minimap volume. There should be no reason why I am being deafened by everyone's footsteps surrounding me. That doesn't help it. That just gives me anxiety. That's just like cold hard anxiety. I'm not even lying. Next thing, perk system. They made a new perk system. Oh man. So in old Call of Duty fashion, you would get how many perks that you would want with how many points that you had. However, in this game, they decided to change it just to say they changed it. So how this new perk system works is that now you have 4 perks. 2 perks that you get at the very start of the match, a 3rd perk that activates midway towards the match, and a 4th ultimate perk that's activated towards the end of the game. I'm pretty sure they made it so that you get the final perk faster, so that way it doesn't activate towards the end of the game. But I don't like this system at all. I don't like this system at all. I don't want 2 perks at the very start of the match. I want all of my perks at the very beginning of the match. I mean, I understand why they're doing it because some perks are very much a crutch perk. Like there's a perk where it allows you to not have as much flinch, which flinch is a very big problem with this game. With how much recoil each weapon has and the amount of flinch that you have, not only just shooting it, but when you get shot, you have a whole bunch of flinch, which makes it harder for you to shoot and then you die because of it. This whole perk system, I don't like it. Not one bit do I like it. There's one for flinch, Ghost is an ultimate perk, Flatline's an ultimate perk, and then there's Bird's Eye, which I think, if I remember correctly, zooms out the minimap, and not only that, gives directions of where enemies are going to be going. So it's kind of like a hater, somewhat in some way. So I've been rocking with that. I like that perk, but just honestly, I want all of my perks at the very start of the match. I feel like the core to Call of Duty was always there, and they're just meddling with it just to say that they did something different. When the formula is already when the formula is already perfected, it should not be touched ever again. I don't know why they're messing up the core elements to a first-person shooter that was already perfected in the first place. Visibility is also something that everybody complained about in Modern Warfare 2019. I don't know why, and again, I don't know whose idiotic idea this was, but for some reason, not only is it very hard to see people in this game, but for some reason, they're getting rid of nameplates for enemies. Your teammates will have a blue dot on your team, and your friends will have a green dot on their team if they're in your party. But when it comes to the actual opposition, like the actual enemy team, they don't have anything. They don't have reticles. They don't have dots on their head. They don't have anything, which makes it harder to see them from a distance. Keep in mind that this is an arcade shooter. Sure, you can make it realistic all you want, but at the core base, this is still an arcade shooter. In Black Ops 4, they literally had nameplates. They even had health bars across their name, just to make it easier for people to see. I don't know why, again, they're messing with the core elements to a first-person shooter, especially visibility. If you don't have visibility in a shooter, then the whole system is absolutely screwed up. And last but not least, and it's everyone's favorite, say it with me, skill-based matchmaking. Oh boy. I can talk your ear off, but I'm just going to make it as simply, I'm just going to cut this down as simply as possible. Skill-based matchmaking, we know it's there. Us gamers know that it's there. But Activision and the devs don't mention it at all. That's scummy. And that's super shady. Literally, it's not even based on everyone who's in the lobby. It's based off of ping. And they track your KD and how you're performing in each match via the COD tracker. But that's just making the overall experience for everyone horrible. It's making it horrible for everyone. That's why a lot of us reverse boosted back in Cold War, Vanguard, you name it. Because it's not fun to face opposition who is better than you every single time. This is a video game. This is not a tournament. If I wanted to play in a tournament, I would have signed up in a tournament to face Call of Duty gods and champions that way. But when it's based off of ping, you not only have to worry about harder competition, but you have to worry about lower connection into the match. So not only do you have two disadvantages, you have to worry about everything else. So it's like, why? Why? Whose idea at Activision or Infinity Ward was this? So I can punch them in the groin. And it's not like we get anything if we win or lose. Like, if we lose, then we just drop our KD. But what happens if we win? What do we get? What's the incentive for winning anymore? Nothing. We try to level our weapons up because we want to actually use the weapons that we want to use. But there's a meta, and if you're not using the meta, then you're not going to do well. And that's just bullshit entirely. I want to use the weapons that I want to use without having to get severely punished for it. You understand? You guys understand what I'm saying? even if you don't understand it, you at least have to understand my perspective, because this is just utter asinine at this point. How long did Black Ops 4 come out? I think like 5 years ago, 4 years ago maybe. There's a reason why you guys see me playing the older Call of Duties, at least the older Call of Duties that I have, because those are the games that I always go back to. Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, even though Infinite Warfare had its problems, I still play that game than Modern Warfare 2019, Vanguard. I didn't even buy Vanguard. There's a reason why I haven't been buying any of the new Call of Duties for like the past 3 years. Because they're changing the basic formula that was already perfected years ago. I did enjoy the few matches that I played in the beta, and with everything that I did pretty well. I did well, decent. I didn't do anything overly outlandish, but I did pretty well. However, pretty much the first match that you guys just saw, I loaded into it at the very start. After that, pretty much 6 out of the 7 matches were games in progress. Which to me just says that a whole lot of people aren't playing it. And to me, if they're going to release it, and we're going to be stuck with this game for the next 3 years, because that's the thing. If they're going to release this game, they have to do something. And they at least have to listen to us to make the game enjoyable, because we're going to be stuck with this game for the next 3 years. After this game, they're not going to be releasing a game until 2023 or 2024. I have no idea. But they're taking a break, finally. But if they're going to take a break, they need to release a game that's actually subpar. And no, not subpar. It has to be good. If it's not good, then we're going to be stuck with this game. We're going to be stuck with a half-ass game for the next 3 years. And if it's going to be anything that happened with Cold War, then I at least pray to God that we don't have to deal with the whole bricking consoles bullshit like we did with Cold War. Now I didn't suffer this because I didn't have a PS5 and I didn't have Cold War. I didn't even buy it. But when that game came out, it was buggy, it was glitchy, it was pretty much unbearable to play. But not only that, it bricked next-gen consoles. PS5, Xbox Series X, whatever. It bricked consoles. And not only that, it messed up MW 2019, it messed up Warzone, it messed up Cold War, it messed up pretty much everything. So if this is going to be the same outcome as Cold War, then you can most definitely count me the fuck out. And I'm not going to insult my own intelligence, because I know more than the base player who says, oh, well, the game was made in a pandemic, give the devs some slack. No! When we were in the pandemic, do you know how many games delayed? Do you know how many companies delayed their game? Bethesda delayed Doom Eternal because it wasn't ready. And they were in the pandemic. But they were still working on it, and they at least delayed the game. Cyberpunk, how many times that Cyberpunk delayed their game? They still delayed it. Surely it still came out shit, but they still delayed it. This game, Call of Duty, they don't delay games. They just publish it, release it, and fix it along the way. Even if when we were in the pandemic, they said, hey, we should delay the game, I would commend them for that. But the fact that they didn't, and Cold War happened to be in the shape that it was in, if we were in the pandemic now, don't release your game. It's that simple. And much like 2K22, that game redeemed 2K. Fully on. That game is so freaking good. I'd rather play WWE2K22 than to play this shit. Because 2K learned from their mistake and they redeemed themselves. Activision has never redeemed themselves at all. And if their shady business practices are going to be this way going forward, count me out. There's no hope for them. This coming from a company who harasses women in their workplace, sexually harasses women in their workplace. I mean, they're already neck deep in lawsuits because of it. Again, I'm not going to insult my own intelligence when I know more than the base player. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say this. If you guys played MW 2019 and you liked it, then you're going to like this game. However, I'm not going to be buying it. This is, I gave it the good old college try and at least attempted it, but this is not for me. This is not for me. I will keep playing Call of Duty, but I will only be playing the older ones, especially Black Ops 4. I've only been playing zombies for like the past couple weeks because the multiplayer, I have no idea what's going on, but apparently the dedicated servers that they have are going down. So Black Ops 4 is pretty much dead, except for zombies, which is again the only thing that I've been playing nowadays. But at the end of the day, Cold War beta is over. I mean, the Cold War beta is over, obviously. The Modern Warfare 2022 beta is over. It's going to be coming out. The actual game is going to be coming out in a few weeks. But I won't be buying it. It's not for me. And again, if they're going to be releasing it, they have to give us something. They have to at least listen to our feedback and put it into the game. Because if not, a whole bunch of us are not going to be sticking around. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, my voice is worn out. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave me a like. Leave the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Call of Duty content in the future with post notifications turned on. And yeah, take it easy. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys later with a brand new video. Peace out.